I have to talk to you about why being the nice guy kills attraction. In this video, I'm going to talk whether you're married or you're single. I'm going to talk to you about why this, idea that we have of niceness is so brutally fatal to almost every woman out there. And it's not what you think. It's not what you've heard before. Those phrases you hear that nice guys finish last, yes, they're true, but no one takes the time to explain why. I mean, when you think about it, wouldn't you want to be married to a nice guy? Wouldn't you want to be married to someone who thinks of you first, who thinks of you warmly, who's generous? All those are associated with kindness, every single one of those traits. But that's not what people are talking about. I'm going to dive in on a deep psychological level what the heck people are talking about when they say nice guys finish last and why it absolutely destroys attraction from women. And it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or 65 years old. The results are the same. I don't care if you're new and you're just dating or you've been married for 37 or 47 years. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, my name is John DeBach. I'm a couples counselor and relationship coach. I've been doing this for about a decade and a half. I have about 1 million followers online that I built over the last year from zero without spending a buck on ads. And I did it all by speaking the truth about male-female dynamics for you so that you can understand how to better your relationships. I've been on national TV, published books, but most importantly, and this is what informs me, even though I've met with literally thousands of people and saved thousands of marriages, what informs me more than anything is being married myself. I've been married for 15 years to my beautiful, amazing wife. She's a psychologist. We have 4 great children, and I live what I teach, right? I walk the walk, I talk the talk. This isn't theory. A lot of people online are going to tell you exactly how to live your life and how to live in your marriage. And guess what? A lot of them are single or 3 times divorced. Maybe they're brilliant. Take whatever you can from them. But for me, I usually when I look for a mentor or a guide, I look for someone who's actually living it. I'm not going to go to the guy who's broke on the street and ask him how to become a billionaire. Just not going to do it. Okay, so why is this phenomenon something that happens so often? Ask yourself, why do nice guys get this bad rap? And the thing is, nice is too broad of a term. So we have to dissect really what people are talking about with niceness. The biggest one is that nice is often mistaken with accommodating. And accommodating means you have no backbone. So ask yourself this if you're watching this and you're a man, do you bend over backwards? Are there moments in your relationship, or if you're just dating, when you're dating, right? I mostly work with married men, just to be clear of what I do. And I'm not selling anything in this video or anything, but I just want to be clear. I'm not the dating expert guy, right? But if you're accommodating in your relationship, do you ever feel like you're sacrificing a lot? That's the number one sign that you're doing this wrong. If you feel like you're sacrificing what's really important to you because it's for the good of the relationship, man, are you making a horrible mistake. Now, let me give you an analogy on why this is such a big deal. Everybody says you could be nice to strangers, right? Nobody argues that if you're in line at the coffee shop, you should, be mean. No one says that. Everybody's like, be nice. You're in public, be nice, right? So let's look at what accommodating versus nice looks like in that scenario where you don't have that weird dynamic of husband and wife. You're in line at a coffee shop. Someone turns to you and says, "Hey, nice sweater. Yeah, thank you so much. I like your coat. Great. Hey, you know what? I'm short and I want to order a bunch of coffee for my office. Would you mind just spotting me $200?" Right? Now, you're not going to go crazy on the person and scream at them and say, "What are you, out of your mind? $200? I don't even know who you are." You're not going to do that. That's insanity. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to stay nice, probably laugh it off with like nervousness and confusion, and you'll say, "I don't know why you think I'd give you $200, but the answer is no. Have a nice day." You'll even have a nice pleasantry at the end of that, right? What's the difference? If your wife asks you for an obscene amount of money or to move all your plans because she has this emergency and you can't, right? Or you don't want to because what she's doing doesn't seem more important to you. Some husbands will say, "Okay, That's like saying okay to the stranger for $200. Now, I'm not saying you have to be cruel. There are exceptions, right? You can go out of your way to be generous. But if something's important to you, if it's a boundary, if it's like, hey, listen, I'll use an example that seems trivial. A lot of guys love golf, right? In their 50s and 60s, especially if they're retired or semi-retired, a lot of men love playing golf. And golf is a very time-intensive hobby in case you don't play golf. It's hours on the golf course. And getting a tee time is not so easy in some courses, right? And if your wife says, "Oh, can you really do this?" and you've already made a tea time, unless it's dire or an emergency, you could say, "Honey, I'd love to, but I already have a tea time." And that's the end of the conversation. That's being nice. I'd love to, but I already have this. If you let me know with more advance notice, maybe next time. Polite, right? Nice, but not accommodating. You don't sacrifice your boundaries. You don't let them stomp all over where you are. The other thing that nice isn't is avoidant, right? So this is a second point altogether. A lot of guys, when there's a confrontation, instead of saying, hey, I didn't like what you did, they'll just avoid the fight. There's a certain amount of passiveness or passivity that they embody in their relationship. Like, it's okay, whatever she needs. So it's not just accommodating and bending your own rules, it's letting yourself get yelled at. It's letting money be spent where you don't want it to be spent. It's letting her decide values and parenting or where you live that you're not okay with, but you keep quiet because you don't want the confrontation. Or she does something bad, and instead of confronting her about it, you just kind of let it slide. Now, sometimes that's okay. If she leaves a dish out that you wanted her to put away, it's not worth getting in a fight over, right? But if it's something significant, I'll give you a great example that comes up all the time. If she says something underhanded to you in front of your friends or in front of your family, that's not okay. You need to be confrontational. You not speaking up actually isn't nice, right? That's avoidant. There's a big difference because what's going to happen? What's going to happen is you're going to not confront her. She's going to learn that that is acceptable behavior. And then she's going to do it again for a number of reasons. One, maybe she got a laugh, right? Two, maybe she's pushing you to get a response subconsciously or consciously. There's other reasons that she could be doing it as well, right? Maybe she's showing off to her friends. But whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. It's not appropriate. And so by you not saying something, by you being avoidant, it's going to happen. You're guaranteed that it's going to happen again. And what happens as a result? You get angrier. You get full of resentment. And those paths only go in one of a few directions. Either you cheat on her, or you scream and explode at her and she's in shock when you do, or you get divorced. And so tell me, if we look at the end result, right? If we're looking at the end result of you not confronting your wife's bad behavior and skip the part where you're quiet and let her get away with it, bad result and you either cheat on her, divorce her, or yell at her, are any of those nice? No. Very clearly no. And so you need to look further in the future with a lot of this behavior. If your sense of accommodating, if your sense of avoiding, right? If any of that is going to lead to an explosion, divorce, cheating, anything horrible, then it's not nice. You're just delaying what is going to be a horrible outcome. It's death by bleeding out slowly as opposed to a gunshot. That's all it is. And that's not nice, right? A doctor doesn't stitch you up and then leave a little bit there and say, it's good enough, right? No, it might hurt. The rehab might be difficult. You might need physical therapy, but we're going to fix this the right way so that we can have a wonderful, functional body that works. And your marriage has the same relationship with its health. So you can't be accommodating and you can't be avoidant of confrontation. You can be polite and you can assert your boundaries with compassion. I love you very much. I realize you want to spend the entire summer with your mother-in-law. Doesn't sound like a good time to me. I'm comfortable going for a week, and then if you want to stay, maybe we'll spend the summer apart, but I'm not willing to do that. Polite, nice, assertive though. You don't let someone trample on what your wants, your needs, your desires, your values are. Now, if it's something you don't care about, you don't care if you're going to spend the summer with her mom or not, fine, go for it. I don't care, right? If you really truly are easygoing, then that's fine. But ask yourself, are you, right? When you're making these decisions not to be confrontational or to be accommodating, is it that you genuinely are accommodating? Or are you secretly, when no one else is asking, it's just you alone with you, do you wish it went a different way? Because you don't need to sacrifice that much in a marriage. Yes, there's sacrifice in a relationship, absolutely. But you don't have to do that much. That is asking too much of nearly everyone, or anyone, I should say. Look, if you want to dive in further on things like this, you can book a private session, or I do have an exclusive small group for men. And if you're interested in either of those, the information is below. Thank you so much for watching.